So many women tell me, quietly, almost apologetically, Brenda, I don't even know what I want anymore. And they don't say this with pride. They don't say it with power. They actually say it with shame, with exhaustion, with a soft tremble in their voice, like they're confessing something they think they should have figured out by now. Before you tell yourself you're broken or behind or failing at being human. Because hear me, not knowing what you want is not a failure. It's a symptom of survival. Welcome to Guided. I'm Brenda Bertrand, and today we're talking about what it means when you don't know what you want and what to do about it. So let me tell you why you don't know what you want. Not because there's something wrong with you, but because of what you've been through. When you've lived through trauma, your nervous system learned that wanting was dangerous. That asking for what you needed made things worse. That the safest thing to do was make yourself small, quiet, and invisible. When you've carried responsibility too young, you learn that your needs didn't matter as much as everyone else's. That being the strong one, the responsible one, the one who holds it together, that's who you had to be. And there was no room for what do I want? There was only room for what does everyone else need. Some people don't know what they want because we come from cultures where survival meant collective, not individual. Especially if you're a person of color, you learn that your individual desires were secondary to the community's survival, to the family's thriving, to the next generation's opportunities. Your mother didn't finish high school, so others could. Or your grandmother worked 3 jobs so the family could eat. Your father chose a stable job over his own dream so that you could go to college. Because that's what kept everyone afloat. You may come from people who crossed oceans and survived systems that weren't made for them. They had to learn new languages and make ends meet against impossible odds, all while tending to the collective's evolution. And that was survival. And that was love. And that was sacred. But it also meant your individual wanting got set aside, not because it didn't matter, but because the collective needed you more. So when someone asks, what do you want? It can feel selfish, like betrayal, like you're abandoning the very people who sacrificed so you could be here. But here's what I need you to hear. Honoring your desire doesn't dishonor their sacrifice. It completes it. They survive so you could thrive. Not just survive too. Thrive. Live, want, choose. Some people don't know what they want because they've held the family together, the church together, the story together. They are the glue. They become the foundation, the one who doesn't get to fall apart because everyone's leaning on you. And desire? That felt like a luxury you couldn't afford. And then there are some who don't know what they want because you've endured what could have broken you. Your survival instinct kicked in, and survival doesn't have time for desire. Survival is about making it through the next week, the next year, the next day, the next breath. And you do what you had to do, and wanting things, that got put on hold indefinitely. You know, some people have been told your wants are selfish or too much or not important. So you learn to distrust them, to dismiss them, to feel guilty for even having them. Good girls don't ask for too much. Good Christians serve others. Good women make everyone else comfortable first. And so those messages and that conditioning taught you to bury your desires because you were told they made you bad. I've met with a lot of people who don't know what they want because they were praised for being strong and for never having needs. Can you imagine? You learned that your value came from your strength and your capacity and your ability to keep going no matter what. And so you kept going and kept going and kept going until someone one day asked you what you wanted and you had no idea. It's not that your desire disappeared. It went underground. It hid for safety. It buried itself under the rubble of lies and expectations and the life you had to build to stay alive. So let me name what's actually happening here. This is not confusion. This is conditioning. Most women weren't taught to want. They were taught to serve, to settle, to survive, to spiritualize self-neglect, to make themselves small so others could breathe. And some were taught that wanting is selfish, that desire is dangerous, that good women put themselves last. And so many of us, many of you did, for years, maybe decades. And now someone, maybe me as a coach, or maybe a friend, or maybe your own soul is asking, what do you want? And you panic because you genuinely don't know. But here's what I want you to understand, that not knowing is actually information. It's your body saying there's something here, but I've had no space to touch it yet. It's not that you don't have desires, it's that you haven't been allowed to access them. You haven't been safe enough to feel them. You haven't had permission to voice them. So they're still there, buried, waiting, whole. When you say, I don't know what I want, here's what you might actually be saying. 1, I've never been asked before. No one ever made space for your wanting. Maybe your whole life has been about responding to what others need, what others expect, what others want from you. And this question, what do you want? It's unfamiliar or foreign or almost uncomfortable. Or maybe it means I'm afraid that if I say it out loud, I'll be disappointed. Maybe you've wanted things before and been let down. Maybe you've asked for things and been told no. Maybe you've hoped and been crushed. And so now it feels safer not to want anything, because if you don't want, you can't be hurt. Maybe it means I'm afraid my desire will betray the collective. Now, this is a very deep subconscious reason, especially if you come from collectivist cultures. You're afraid that choosing what you want means abandoning the people who sacrificed for you. So your mother put you through school instead of finishing her own education, or your family chose practical over passion so that you could have stability. And now you're supposed to want something for yourself. It can feel like betrayal, like you're being selfish, like you're dishonoring their sacrifice. But I can promise you, they did not survive so that you can survive too. They want you to have choices that they didn't have. Your wholeness doesn't diminish their sacrifice. It completes it. I've met with some folks, they don't think they're allowed to want. Like good women don't. Faithful women don't. Strong women don't. That they've been taught that wanting is evidence of weakness or of a lack of faith or not being grateful enough for what you have. A lot of churches may teach this theology, and a lot of people have swallowed it whole. And so it's almost like, I don't think I'm allowed to want. And I love giving women permission to want. I have fun with it. And then I've met some folks, they're so used to pushing down their desires that they actually can't feel them anymore. Like they've gotten so good at ignoring the whispers and dismissing the nudges and explaining away the longings that now they're silent or they're muted, right? They're not gone. They're just kind of quiet, waiting for permission to speak again. And friends, all of those reasonings, that's not confusion. It's trauma, it's conditioning, it's survival, and it makes perfect sense. But here's what I need you to know. Something holy, something true. Not knowing what you want is actually a deep knowing. It's the doorway to your truth, the beginning of your clarity, the whisper before the revelation. Because when you say, I don't know, what you're really saying is there's something buried here, something I haven't been allowed to touch yet, something that's been waiting. And that waiting, that's not emptiness. That's fullness that you haven't yet excavated. Your desire is not gone. It's waiting. It's whole. It's holy. It's unburned. It is underneath everything life stacked on top of it. And here's what I believe. God has been tending those embers while you tended everyone else's fires. The Spirit has been holding your desires in trust, keeping them safe, waiting for the moment when you'd finally have space to feel them again. Let me tell you what Jesus did when people couldn't name what they wanted. There's a story in John 5. I love this story. A man has been lying by a pool for 38 years, waiting, being passed over, of watching everyone else get healed while he stays stuck. And Jesus walks up to him and asks him what seems like a very obvious question. Do you want to be made well? Why would Jesus ask that? Of course he wants to be healed. He's been lying there for 38 years. But the man doesn't say yes. He doesn't say, yes, I want to be well. Instead, he explains why it's not possible. Why others always get there first. Why the system doesn't work for him. Jesus asked the question because after 38 years of waiting, of not mattering, of being invisible, the man had forgotten how to want. He'd learned to explain, to justify, to survive in the not having, but he'd stopped knowing what it felt like to say, yes, I want to be whole. And Jesus didn't shame him for that. Jesus saw him, really saw him, and then said, stand up, take up your mat and walk. He didn't say try harder. He didn't say have more faith. He didn't say figure this thing out first. Just you're seen, you matter, your wholeness matters. Now move. And that's what I love about how Jesus interacts with folks, with people who've forgotten how to want. He doesn't scold them, he sees them, and then invites them to move toward desire, to practice wanting again, to risk wholeness, and to believe their healing matters. So friend, when you say, I don't know what I want, I hear, I'm that person by the pool. I've been waiting so long, I forgot what it feels like to say yes to me. And Jesus is asking you too, do you want to be made whole? Not are you sure, not do you deserve it, not have you figured it all out yet. Just do you want it? Do you want your life back? Do you want your desire back? Do you want to be whole? And if the answer is yes, even a trembling, uncertain yes, that's enough. That's the beginning. Because the opposite of wanting isn't contentment. It's resignation. And Jesus didn't come to make us resigned. He came to make us whole, to give us life, abundant life, life that feels like living, not just surviving. So when you say, I don't know what I want, I hear, I'm ready. I'm finally safe to start asking. And friend, that is not failure. That's arrival. So here's what you do when you don't know what you want. First, stop making it mean something's wrong with you. Friend, you're not broken. I'm going to say that over and over and over. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not failing at life. You're recovering from survival, from conditioning, from a lifetime of making yourself small. And recovery takes time. Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself that time. Second, start with what you don't want, because that is usually easier, right? And it's just as valuable. Ask yourself, what am I doing right now that feels heavy or draining or wrong? What relationships, what commitments, what patterns, what beliefs are depleting me? That's information too, because the opposite of what you don't want is often pointing toward what you do want. And if you don't want to feel exhausted all the time, You might want rest. You may desire spaciousness. You may need ease. And if you don't want to feel invisible, you might want to be seen and valued and celebrated. Start there with the no. When you know what no is, yes may come a little easier. Third, pay attention to aliveness. You might not know what you want long-term, but you can notice what made you feel alive today, even for a moment. Was it a conversation? Was it a song? Was it a walk outside? Was it a moment of quiet? Was it a particular hobby? Was it a particular task? Aliveness is breadcrumbs. Follow them. They're leading you back to your desire. And fourth, give yourself permission to want small things first. You don't have to figure out your life's purpose right now. You don't have to know what you want to do with the rest of your life. Just notice, what do I want for lunch? And let yourself look at the menu and let yourself be in the discomfort of not knowing and then choosing. What do I want to wear today? What do I want to do this weekend? If someone asks, where do you want to go eat? Just make yourself choose something. Just the practice of wanting in small ways, and your body will remember and your soul will wake up. And lastly, ask the question differently. Instead of asking, what do I want? Try, what would feel good right now? Or what would bring me joy? If no one else's opinion mattered, what would I choose? If I trusted I was held no matter what would I try? Sometimes the reframe makes all the difference. Encourage you to be patient with the process. The desire that's been buried for years, maybe decades, it's not going to fully emerge overnight. This is excavation work. It's slow, it's tender, and it's sacred. Some days you'll feel nothing. Some days a whisper, some days a roar. Just trust the process. The desire is there. It's coming back. You're not rushing this. You're not lost. You're arriving. And listen, this year, the rubble is coming off. Your clarity is coming back. Your voice is returning home. Your desires are stepping into the light. Not knowing is just the beginning. It's not the end of the story. It's the start of your awakening. Because underneath all the confusion, underneath the conditioning, underneath the survival, there's you, the real you, the one who knows what she wants, the one who's been waiting for the moment it was safe enough to want again. And that moment, friend, it's now. So here's what I want you to do this week. Every morning, just ask yourself, what do I want today? Not what do I need to do? Not what does everyone else need? What do I want? And if the answer is I don't know, that's okay. Just sit with the question. Let it breathe. Let it settle. Maybe by the end of the week, a whisper will come. Maybe not. Either way, you're practicing. You're making space. And notice one thing each day that feels alive. Just one, a moment, a feeling, a conversation, a song. Write it down. Collect the evidence that your desire is still there, still speaking, still guiding you home. And say to yourself, I am allowed to want. Even if you don't believe it yet, even if it feels foreign, just say, I'm allowed to want. My desires matter. What I want is important. Because your body needs to hear you say it over and over until you start to believe it. So let me bring this home. When you say, I don't know what I want anymore, I don't hear failure. I hear survival. I hear strength. I hear a woman who's done what she had to do to make it through. And now you're here on the other side, safe enough to start asking the question. Your desire is not gone. It's buried, and burial is not death. It's protection. It's preservation. It's waiting. And the fact that you're even asking, what do I want? That's the beginning. That's the excavation starting. That's your soul saying, I'm ready now. So don't rush it. Don't force it. Don't make yourself wrong for not knowing yet. Just keep asking, keep listening, keep noticing what feels alive. The rubble is coming off. Your clarity is coming back. Your desires are stepping into the light. And sis, it's time. Before we close, let's breathe together. I'm here with you. in the not knowing, in the excavation, in the arrival. Here's my blessing. May you be gentle with yourself as you remember how to want. May you trust that your desire is not gone, just buried. May you discover that not knowing is the doorway, not a dead end. And may you step into this year with your voice returning, your clarity emerging, and your desires finally stepping into the light. You are guided, you are held, you are home. Thank you for listening to Guided. If you want to practice reconnecting with your desires, join me at brendabertrand.com and we'll help you excavate clarity and come home to yourself. And we'll do that together and with God. Until then, take care.